You are now listening to For All Nerds Show, a podcast about geek and pop culture from the perspective of people of color. For All Nerds is hosted by DJ Benhameen and Tatiana King Jones. For All Nerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
For All Nerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/forallnerds.
Welcome to the Fan Bros, the show where the bros are fans. Doodle.
And what's up, y'all, and welcome to another episode of the For All Nerds Show, the voice of the urban geek, where we discuss geek and pop culture from the perspective of people of color. And as always, in the captain's chair tonight, it's your boy DJ Benhameen, aka Chewbacca Khan, aka Lando Californication, aka the Riz Skywalker. Here, along with my humorous and humored co-host,
Tatiana King, a.k.a. Lambo Calrissian, a.k.a. Gin and Juice Urso, Gucci Mandalorian, and Good Grief Karga.
There we go. That's one of my favorite shout-outs to Charlie Brownish up here in the spaceship tonight. And as you heard or hear from our Star Wars adjacent AKAs, tonight we are discussing pretty much the rest of the season of The Mandalorian. Because if you were following, as you should be, on all the various different platforms, you know we already dropped our early season Did The Mandalorian Jump the Shark episode, where we, after having seen the first two, we were kind of questioning what is going on with the third season of The Mandalorian. And now we have reached up to damn near the last episode, right? There is one more episode this season.
Yeah, I was just double checking that. Good timing. There are 8 episodes, so one more to go.
Wow. And we, questioned, did The Mandalorian jump the shark before? Now we have seen
Episodes 3 through 7. So
3 through 7.
Do you still feel that way?
I don't know about jump the shark, but it is definitely in season 3, has no idea where it's going. It is there was this season of Lost where it just spun the wheels and everybody was like joining the spinning wheels, and it's become like the premiere, when the show is spinning wheels, and this show is spinning the fucking wheels right now. I've heard so many different rumors and reasonings why it's spinning the wheels like it is, but it's spinning them wheels.
But I thought we also read specifically why Jon Favreau and friends, they were like, yo, we didn't even know we were going to be over here. Like, we didn't even know we were going to be outside this long, meaning this amount of seasons. So they said that it's literally in an interview where they said they had no plan, really. They're like, well, we're just going to keep writing episodes.
Well, there's that. And then I've also heard that the Knights of the New Republic show that was featuring that actor that who shall not be named, who got canned and moved on, was supposed, a lot of the plot line from that was folded into season 3 of The Mandalorian. So that's one rumor I've heard.
Right.
The idea that they don't know and really don't have an end in sight is also one thing. And now with the new announcement that just happened this weekend at Star Wars Celebration, that The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and maybe one other show are all going to wrap up in a film directed by Filoni.
Okay.
Also makes me think, well, then they're going to spin the wheels for a while until they get to this movie.
Yeah. I mean, again, I won't say that this season that hasn't had its fun points, because it still has, and it still had its interesting or funny moments and things like that. There are questions, and if that's really is the end goal now, this whole big conglomerate movie, then I'm just like, bro, y'all just selling Grogu plushies at this point. Like, this is all this is about. And if that's what it is, say that. But I just like, are we wasting our time? Like, here's the thing, like, we and a lot of people, particularly online, have had this kind of hang up that everything has been feeling very side questy. But then I've also seen the other side and personally recognize the other side of things where it's like, well, because the story is beyond Mando at this point. And now, like again, especially once Bo-Katan really showed up and really that story started shifting to the Mando culture and bringing the tribes together, then you could see that, oh, this shit ain't even about, and Din Djarin specifically, there's other Mandos around. It's called The Mandalorian, right? It could be any Mandalorian technically, because it's definitely not about Din no more. Like, at least he's not centered on him. And also, it's not centered on Grogu either. Like, they're now the side acts of a lot of that stuff. So I think if you are approaching this as if it's, even though they are clearly on the cover of every art for The Mandalorian, it's not really about them. Not anymore. And so I can see how on one hand it's like, bro, I came here to see Grogu and his dad do shit, and I'm getting, randoms and, I get it. But at the same time, it's like, once I realized, these niggas don't, like, again, no real direction or no real end. And they're like, they don't really care about centering on these two anymore. It's about further story. When I saw that, I'm like, okay, it's not so much that it's a side quest anymore. It's just that they really just use Din and Grogu as the Trojan horse to try to tell more stories about the other characters.
I think another theory that's been floated out there is that the story was pretty much done after season 2, as we accepted, right?
It absolutely was done.
It was done.
They did retcon. They did retcon so bad. Like, and when I say bad, I don't mean. I just mean like how deeply they retcon shit. And I keep saying this. They fucking basically, Luke didn't fucking matter. Luke fucking Skywalker taking Grogu didn't fucking matter. And my thing is that, to me, that was, for them to do all of that and all of that expectation and all of that buildup, and then all of that parallels to fucking Rogue One and the nigga's dead, and y'all did all of that just to tell me none of that shit mattered. I was like, what the fuck? For what?
Well,
what the fuck? And so that's why, like I said, it was bad because it just made me mad.
Okay, well that is pretty much true. And there's also the theory that, okay, it was supposed to end there, and then season 3 would have been about the book of Boba Fett, like we saw. Well, and then season 4, 5, 6 would have been Bo-Katan, and then featuring Mando coming back, maybe with Grogu or not. But then again, like you said, them Grogu plushies are selling through the woodwork. They making that cake, and so because of that, here we go. Like, on this latest episode, we got yet another Grogu toy. But we'll get to that. And
let's be clear. The book of Boba Fett failed. It failed. Comparatively speaking, it failed.
It had its moments.
I'm talking about in a complete picture. It didn't push units. Okay, it went double wood. Okay. Whereas Mandalorian kept going double platinum. So they're gonna go where the money is, where the money resides. So
yes.
And technically they're still on that wave, about like it's like midway through stuff, but they introduced it to be about Bo-Katan and everything else. So maybe on season 4, it's gonna really squarely be about that.
You're right. Not while them Grogu's are selling, baby. That shit is gonna be center.
Well, you saw. And we'll get to it, but you saw Grogu sitting on her lap this week, so
all day, baby. Grogu gonna be featured. Damn it! I don't even give a damn if what's the name show up anymore. But Grogu gonna be there. Din Djarin can bounce, but Grogu.
At this point, because he's also ran to this, and I'm so upset. Like the way, and I think this just speaks overall also to like some of the
state of sucker.
Yeah, some of the reason why like some of the fandom's upset. And I'm not talking about the toxic fandom. I'm just talking about the people who like concept and story. It's just like, damn, man. Like, once again, these are the niggas that's on the cover of the fucking the fucking album, and this man is just like cornball. Like he's been just doing some cornball moves, and it's just like, this is the nigga that I was really fucking with. Like, it's just such a fall from grace. Again, going from season 2 to where we are now, I'm just like, what? And I don't know. Is that just the forced writing to try to put him in the background or what?
It's like when somebody has a dope ass album cover and then
don't say the tracks are mid.
Yeah, I was about to.
Don't say names. We don't need
I know. I can't even say names, fam. Ooh, because especially, no. Let me move on.
Yeah.
So this season, All right, let's go through it, right?
Let's go through it. Episode 3.
Yeah, since we did our first 2 already. Episode 3 was The Convert, featuring Dr. Persian, which once again just said, fuck it, y'all. We gonna tell whatever story we feel like telling. And tell a whole side story about this character who y'all should remember. But if you don't, we gonna put him in the preview.
Remember.
Well, I don't even know
he
if
was
you
important
should.
at the time, but
no, that was like 2 seasons ago.
I said at the time,
and he was barely important. And the only reason he's important now is because,
but now, yeah, go ahead.
And also because now they want to. Filoni loves explaining things. Like this is what he did all through Rebels and Clone Wars. Is my man loves to fill in plot holes or alleged plot holes.
It's
right?
not really a plot hole. It was just like exposition about a character that should have been a one and done potentially.
But no. Listen, there's more to this, right? This is why he was first introduced.
Okay.
The whole clone thing is because it seems to be leading towards that they are explaining how Palpatine returned instead of somehow Palpatine has returned. Instead of that, now we are getting an explanation.
Right.
No one cared, honestly, and I don't think that we were going back to that era in the sequels or anything.
I mean, we're rushing towards it because now that you say that, I'm realizing, like, bro, he just read the copy crawl across the screen. It was like anywhere that said at some point or something or somewhere or somehow, any of those words popped up. This man or team was like, let's write exactly what that was.
Yeah, I mean, but that's how if you've watched Rebels and in Clone Wars, it was a lot of benefit, right? Because it filled in all the gaps. It showed you Anakin's fall from grace, right?
Right. But that matters.
Well, this matters to certain people. Not to me.
No, the stories can matter. The certain people can matter. It just seems like some of the people who are being focused on may not matter in the grand scheme thing. But
Dr. Persian matters. My man, he took a hard L.
I mean, he does, but he's also so damn naive. He pissed me off. Like I
enjoyed that episode a lot.
I thought it was
up until the end.
I thought it was an interesting episode, but I was texting you as I was watching it and giving you real time updates, and you were just laughing at me. How I was just like, why is this nigga so dumb? This is an obvious trap. You can obviously not trust the lady. What's homegirl's name? You cannot trust this person, the one that was on the ship with him. Like as soon as you
Elia Kane.
Kane, your ass would have been like, don't trust. What was you like? I don't know. I guess that's his personality. This doctor, I just want to help, and I'm really trying to do my best, and all that sniveling, do my best stuff like pisses me off. Like, grow up. Like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. For me, it was just obvious that this woman, I don't care how many fucking biscuits she gives you, bro, she's not on your goddamn side. Like, the nigga was so happy he got them fucking Pop-Tarts and thought that was his best fucking friend, and I didn't understand.
All right. My issues with the episode were a little bit more convoluted, I would say. If you've watched Andor, you've gotten a very ill take on the politics of Star Wars, right? A very gray and nuanced take. And this episode, as a lot of people made jokes online, felt like the Mandalorian, like Andalorian, but it was also Andalorian light, right? You have this former Empire officer who we've seen is, doing some clone shit for whoever got the cash, right? But then in this episode, suddenly he's like, no, I really was just doing that clone shit for whoever had the cash because I wanted to further the science. It's all about the science and the good I can do with it.
Right.
And so
like, okay.
Throughout the episode, I'm like, but maybe he's still a little twisted, right? Maybe he wants to, really just do the clone shit because he likes doing clone shit. And along comes someone who can make him do that clone shit. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is a little iller than I think. But then by the end of the episode, it's very black and white. She is still down with the Empire. She loves eating her Triscuits as she watches him get tortured. And Triscuits are the bomb too, boy. And so I might have done some clone shit for some Triscuits too at that point. So
easily persuaded. What the fuck?
Easily persuaded.
You want some Triscuits? You can clone niggas again. Like,
yes,
okay.
It's like his two favorite things: cloning niggas and Triscuits. So why wouldn't he do it?
Oh,
but
God.
it's like at the end of it, he is a good guy. He really did just want to clone niggas so he can help out the Republic. while she is just a bad guy, who loves eating Triscuits while my man gets tortured.
Yeah.
Now, the hilarious part about it is the fact that the Republic still has this fucking machine, and my man sits there and screams on them about it. Like, no, this is a mind flayer, dog. This is a mind flayer.
And
they're like, no, this
down.
is just an adjustment machine. But the fact that they still keep this machine, that's the only great part of the episode where it's like, yo, that's kind of wild that the Republic still has this.
It was like a torture rack that they turned into a Pilates machine. And it was like, no. It don't stretch you out all the way like that no more. No. This makes you liver.
The fact that it can just be turned up to 11 at any point,
At any point. Like, there's no fail safe.
They didn't even put no tape on that hole. There's no, don't go above this, written on it or anything. Nothing. It's just like, nah, at any point, turn that hole up all the way to 11.
Was it an alien? It was the alien. It was the fucking fish alien.
Oh, that was the most, that's the most hilarious part because he screams at him, it's a trap. And they're famous, what's his name? What's my man's name? Oh my God. And they mention him again in the season. It's a trap. Admiral Akbar.
Admiral Akbar, yeah. Well, one of his peoples, no, it's safe. No. And it's just like, when they said famous last words, I'm like, every time people, like, any character makes it a point to be like, nah, this is good, or nah. It always goes left, and I'm like, this shit ain't gonna work out in his face.
He's a Mon Calamari.
Yeah, Mon Calamari. But yeah, to your point, why would they keep this machine and then not truly like customize it so you can't kill people with it no more?
And that would have been ill if they really, dived into that. Like, okay, that's what Andor is. Andor shows you that the Republic or the new Republic, the Rebels,
it's the same niggas,
are like using some of the same tactics that the Empire would use.
Yeah.
It's a gray area when you get into this revolution type shit. But this ain't that. This is more like, no, this guy's good. He was really one of the clone niggas.
I mean, it's just the level of naivete. Like, that bothered. Like, that, it just, and when I say bothered, I don't mean like it was a horrible writing or anything. No. It was just annoying because that's my personality.
But he really just wanted to clone niggas. That's the
thing.
Okay,
well, that's why your ass got mind flayed on the fucking Pilates machine of death, my nigga. Like, what the fuck? You didn't see that come. You was like, well, I don't know. This is like it's illegal. I asked the fucking my PO, was this legal? And that PO machine, what did PO tell him? Oh, nah, man, cloning is against the law here. And he did that shit fucking anyway. Hey, are we supposed to go in this section of the fucking Pride Lands, the Dark Lands and shit? No, nigga, this is off limits. Nigga, you ain't even got the fucking Metro card to get on the goddamn train. Like, what the fuck? Everything is wrong. Everything is telling you in your spirit, as a good guy, quote, everything in your spirit telling you shit in the milk ain't clean, and you did that shit anyways. That's why I was like, I even feel bad for the niggas. I'm like, you a dumbass. You're stupid.
What would you do for a Klondike bar, nigga? Would you get tortured?
It was just like, nigga, she's clearly not your friend, but maybe I'm a better judge of character.
Well, what'd you do for a Klondike
bar? Is that all you have for episode 3?
Oh my God. Pretty much.
But it was still like a decent episode.
I will just. It was a very decent episode.
It was still a decent episode.
It was Andor Light, and I love Andor so much that Andor Light is still pretty decent. And also filled with the same comedy that I love from this on this show. And as a segue to the next episode, Dr. Persian definitely, fits into the role of being a complete moron and walking into shit that a lot of characters on this show.
Are you sure this is safe? Yes. Walk into the depths of hell with me. It's
speaking of walking into the depths of hell, episode 4, The Foundling, directed by the legend. Let's put some respect on his name, Carl Weathers. I mean, just
Apollo Creed.
I can't. What's his name in in Predator? I can't even remember. Dylan. You dropped us into a meat grinder. Yeah, Dylan.
Okay. I don't get it.
Dylan. Yeah. from Predator. I mean, it's a fucking legend, right? So
Right.
Carl Weathers directs Action Jackson. Look it up, from the 80s, another classic. The goddamn, oh my God, the Mandalorians and their culture, right? These niggas are training by this river where there is a giant monster in it. Like, you have to know the giant monsters. Like, and not only that,
because y'all been on that moon since the Purge. That's been a while. Y'all know it.
We know there's giant monsters in the river, right? Because this episode ain't even about the giant monster in the river. This is about the flying giant monster. That who's my man? Paz Vizsla.
The giant monster in the river was like episode 1 or 2.
Yeah, so they already know about that one, right? But they don't. And they know about this because Paz Vizsla sits there and says, "Yo, this happens all the time, fam. Like, this thing comes through. We try and chase it with our jetpacks. We run out of fuel, and it eats our kids over and over again."
Like, that's one of the things that bothered me mostly because I like Mandalorians as a culture. I gravitate towards them. I always thought
I used to
fucking badass, all this stuff, and this is not getting them the great light. But I've honestly always felt like I've always said if I could pick a class in Star Wars, if I had to pick a culture, I'd be Mando. Okay, fine. But this shit is not making me feel great about that decision. And like, I'm just like, they're so badass, but then every other episode, kids getting ate. Niggas just getting like it's just going down bad by the worst ways possible. And it's like preventable ways, right? And it's just like y'all haven't come up with a game plan by now. Like I don't, is it just me? And also I just feel like out of anything that should be threats to Mando life and way of culture, it shouldn't be a fucking legendary Pokemon. It should not. Like literally, it's only been fucking dinosaurs and random shits that has been the largest threat to Mando for several episodes straight. On the land, the sea, and the air.
And the ice.
And I'm just like, y'all niggas got jetpacks. Like, what is going on?
I mean, the one where they were training by the river.
Gatling gun. Are you dead ass? Are you dead ass?
And got nothing for this legendary Pokemon, as you said.
They was going full fucking speed, and he said, "I'm out of gas, man. That's the 10th child they took this week."
And that was his son, and he still was like, well, darn.
Fucking Zapdos comes down and scoops your kid up. That like y'all not prepared for this.
This is another problem with this show, right? And this is one of, I think we discussed it before, but it's gotten worse over the season, right? One of the major issues with this show and with this Mandalorian culture, once again, alleged culture, is the fact that it's built around like, all right, when we saw the Mandalorians on Clone Wars, on Rebels, when we saw Bo-Katan, there was none of this talk of this is the way, none of this talk of mass.
Religious.
We heard about the Death Watch stuff, but they didn't, ever present themselves like that. None of that type of shit. So when I first saw the first episode of The Mandalorian and my man's running around talking about this is the way and he doesn't take his mask off, I'm like, oh, okay, that's cute, because that's how you figured out how Din Djarin doesn't take his mask off so you don't have to show your mans all the time.
Facts.
I got it right away. I'm like, oh, because I never heard of this bullshit before, so this is just some, like, shit that they made up for this show so dude doesn't have to be there all the time. Which works at first. But when you start introducing a bunch of these niggas, it has two problems. The first one is it's very difficult to act when you can't fucking emote at all. Like, ask Cyclops from the X-Men when he's always wearing that visor, or your man Geordie LaForge when he always had the visor on, how hard it is to act without your eyes. Now, quintuple that when it's your fucking face, and like you can't do nothing and you can barely be heard. So when my man's son gets snatched up, it's not much he can do, especially if you're not an incredible actor, which much as I love Jon Favreau, he's a great comedic actor, whatever. He ain't like, I've never known him to be like, oh my God, let's get him for the, son gets snatched up. Yeah, the son gets snatched up role. So it's tight, and it's tight even on how am I forgetting? Yeah, how am I forgetting the actor's name right now? But it's tight on him because he's such a great actor.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal is such a great actor, as we all know. But it's tight. A lot of the scenes when he says some shit, you're like, whatever, you know. So that's one problem. And then the second problem is how silly it makes their culture look when it's more than one of them. Because
it makes them look sad. It makes them look sad. Like, y'all going out sad. Like, especially because, like I told you, I've always thought Mando culture was the fucking top because niggas can kill anybody, right? Can do anything. These niggas went down sad.
I mean, on Clone Wars, look, they took L's, but they just did not take L's like this, where it was like, goddamn, like the L's were emotional.
Like the
L's.
crocodile HUB, for real?
No, it was because Darth Maul came through and decided he wanted to take over Mandalorian.
But that's different to me. Like a bunch of fucking Imperial guards come in that bitch. Okay, that's a challenge. Okay, fine. The fucking Empire comes down. Okay, that's a fucking challenge. They fucking purge. Okay, that's a relevant challenge.
These niggas got off their coffee break in the latest episode.
SeaWorld come through and that's a problem?
But the problem is, okay, I can wait, I can accept SeaWorld being a problem. But why would you set your camp up next to SeaWorld?
That too. But even further, that means challenge even you saying that. How is SeaWorld a problem, but from random niggas armed to the teeth ain't? Niggas with hyperspace, this and that, y'all cool. But the fucking nigga with teeth, like I don't understand. Again, legendary Pokemon, I get it. They big as shit.
Look, niggas
strong,
came
but
through
I
with
don't
staffs.
understand.
Niggas came through with staffs and served past Vizsla like niggas got off their coffee break.
Well, that's Imperial Garden. It was 3 of them. He was already shot up. Let's be frank.
True.
Let's be real.
Okay. Yep.
You know, it wasn't like he was fresh off the bench and they fucking gave him the L. You know what I'm saying? Right, no, that didn't happen. Like, he was already putting in that work. He already did, like, full court basketball for, like, 70 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I get it.
He was already down bad.
He was already down bad, so that's different. That's what I'm saying. Like, and that's why, but that goes to my last.
They didn't hit the game-winning shot on his ass or anything.
No, right.
It was already a blowout by that point.
But Ben, that goes to my point about, like, to me, it's not consistent. It's just like these niggas can do anything. These niggas could take on anyone. These niggas could fucking liberate a planet, whatever.
Except for logic, they could take on anything except logic.
Right, but that
logical moves do not seem to be in there.
I just don't understand the power levels, and that's all I'm saying. And this is my gripe. Sorry,
it ain't the power levels. I don't understand the logic levels, dog. These niggas,
but power levels. But the logic feeds into the power, and that's what I'm just saying. That's my typical gripe that happens with shows when they're like, "Oh, this culture is this and this culture that, or this creature is this and that." Because then y'all be one episode is OP, one episode is nerfed. Like, which one is it?
All right. Well, episode 3, Much I Love Carl Weathers, was just hilarious.
Mando did all that shit by himself for 2 seasons, and then the niggas fucking tripping over bricks and shit and getting like, come on, man, fam, the nigga almost drowned. Like, oh my god.
The nigga had to be saved by Bo-Katan like 3 separate times in the first 2 episodes.
This nigga took out everybody by his goddamn... And granted, yes, every time there were certain Avengers that involved other groups of people, yes, he helped them or they helped him. I get it. But mans was stand alone for a long time and just making it happen outside. And then as soon as he comes up with this fucking, no-face tribe, all of a sudden, he don't know how to handle a blast. All of a sudden, I can't fucking swim. I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, what the fuck is going on? I don't get it. It's confusing to me. Anyway, episode 4, man. Kids getting 8 every day, B.
Is that the same episode where they went to eat? No, that's later on.
No, that's later.
All right, yeah. But we can just address it right now because I mentioned it. That's what I mean. The culture just makes no sense. These niggas is like, no, we all eat alone because we can't take our mask off. So I was texting Tatiana, like, how do they fuck? Or did they
with the mask on? With the mask on, motherfucker.
Okay, they did show a little kid with a cloth mask in the latest episode. So maybe they got masks for fucking.
Ben.
This shit is terrible.
Ben. They don't have different masks for different tasks in life, okay?
They have to, dog.
No!
That shit would be mad hot.
I guarantee they butt-ass nigga with the helmet on. This is the way. guarantee that
the way
shit.
it's terrible.
And the helmets are the Beskar armors clinging against each other and stuff as they're going. Like, this is the way, man. I mean,
you ain't getting no type
way.
of head through that shit, dog.
No, because I'm not even gonna talk about the mechanics of that, but we are so immature. I'm sorry, y'all, but
I just point out the logic. Like I say, the logic don't make it stand up. But the fact that they are out here getting killed by giant Pokemon and then still want to eat separately is like, no, fam. Like, who would want to be part of this crew?
That is their religion too. And my thing is, let's not push that, cast that aside. Like, whether or not we feel like it's stupid or whatever, kind of besides the point, right? That is what they prescribe to in their religion.
No, I have to say that it's stupid because the only reason the religion exists is because Pedro Pascal ain't gonna be there every episode.
Okay.
That's the only reason it exists.
Okay, I'll get that to you.
That shit did not exist before this show. In no way, shape, or form was that ever in. And they have been there all through. Like, there was Bo-Katan and the Mandalorians had major storylines all through Clone Wars,
and
Rebels,
there was never no cloth talk talking about we don't show our face.
The funniest shit was how they had to explain, because that was the thing. Like, there was this whole moment on Mandalore where it was covered in like pacifist, and people are like, "What? Boba Fett comes from pacifist?" But that was like a point where Mandalorian culture was trying to get away from the war shit that they'd been known for. So they showed that, they had all kind of different eras.
And that's fine.
You got to see Mandalore at its full glory. And it's fine. This is cool. But it just, at the same time, you have to start talking about, like, what, y'all raise kids with masks on? Like, how do they develop? These, like, bruh.
They keep making new masks as they get older.
No, fuck that. I'm talking about, how does a kid look at like a mask and ever grow up? You know what I mean? Like, what type of, like, kids look at your face and they learn everything, from you.
Oh, these kids are emotionally stunted.
There we go.
We know this. Because, like you said, I mean, my thing is they try to... Because
they also
you can't,
get murdered so quick. Who cares?
That, too. So they probably not even making it that far. But also, yeah, you can't see these people's faces, so you don't see the emote and all this other stuff. Yep. They're fine. But then what the show tries to do is have it in their voice, right? The cadence, the tone, all the other stuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yes.
But it all does come off as cold. So to your point... how these kids are also growing up in this way, but they clearly show love, like they're hugging. This is my son. This is my child. And they got ate by a fucking turkey and all this other shit. They're trying, but
and I'm ready to give up when I run out of fuel. Yeah.
I mean, but what the fuck else was he supposed to do? What the fuck else? They couldn't take on the fucking
run after that hoe.
Run?
Yes. This is your kid. This is your kid. Drop the armor and run. But no, you ain't taking off that mask because this is the way. Yeah. We'll run with no armor. And your knife in your mouth. Your vibro blade. Hey, cut that motherfucking turkey.
Isn't there such thing as a turkey cutter that it vibrates?
Yeah, the vibro blade. That's what they were using in the later episodes.
I know. I'm talking about in real life that you cut the turkey with. It's like the mechanical knife.
Yeah, that should be doing. Yeah, that should go through a fucking turkey too, boy. Like a hot knife through butter.
All right, let's move on to episode 5.
Yes,
five.
Directed by
our friend
of the show,
Peter Ramsey of Into the Spider-Verse,
yes.
lore and legend. This was my favorite episode of the season.
Also, Lost Ollie. Lost Ollie on Netflix. Go watch it. One of the best joints. Bless you. Amazing film. I mean, amazing series, animation. Peter Ramsey involved. It's beautiful. It'll have you crying. Go peep it.
Excellent. My favorite episode of the season. I thought it was well paced. It gave me what I was looking for. We literally spent the last 10 minutes talking about how goofy these fucking Mandos be coming off and how they're sullying the legend of what I thought Mandos were about. And then this, to me, redeemed a lot of that, restored a lot of that viewpoint that I've always held when it came to Mandalorian culture.
Yep.
The Mandos, how they fight back. Fight back, nigga, fight back. the pirates. They liberating Navarro when nobody else want to come through. Hey, you know what they say? Hey, nobody want to come save you. You know, you don't want to stand. People don't want to stand up for you, or we gonna stand up for you, my nigga.
Mando cares when nobody else cares.
Right. And I fuck with that, and that's honorable to me, and that's some Mando shit. Like, that's some real life Mando shit. That's some gangster shit. They came down there like a fucking SEAL Team 6. They did that shit by themselves, and I fucked with it. Okay, fine. And then we got to see Carson Teva, the X-Wing pilot, the only nigga in the Republic that cares, and it was trying to get them some help, but that ain't work. But
Teva cares when don't nobody else care.
You know what I'm saying? So like I like that. And like I said, I thought the pacing was cool. I just thought it was cool. Like niggas wasn't getting ate by random animals. Like it was just working out. Like they were fighting and doing what they do best and dominating. And I think, again, and it was just a great departure from all the bullshit I was seeing the last couple of episodes. So that's why I enjoy episode 5. What about you, Benhameen?
Oh, thoroughly enjoyed it. Also, that episode featured my man Garazeb Aurelios, who is the big purple dude who's standing in the bar. The pilot walks up to him and asks him a question. Purplish alien dude.
I gotta remember. Keep going.
Yeah, he's like a purplish cat-looking alien. But Zeb, you can look up Zeb from Rebels, is one of the core characters of Star Wars Rebels, and I was in such a shock seeing him. I just thought that it was another one of the race, because that's his first time being in live action. So I was like, okay, it's just got to be another one of the race. That can't just be Zeb casually sitting at the bar, and they don't even say his name or any of that. And that's why I really loved it, because it was one of those callbacks, and also like one, Zeb looked incredible in live action. That was so sick to see. But two, it was like he's in this universe, but it's not like this big moment where everybody's like, oh, do you know Zeb or any of that? It's just he happened to be at the bar. The pilot needed some information. He walks over to him. So if you've never seen Rebels, it's just the pilot walks over to some purple alien like you never seen Rebels. And so you're just like, okay, he talks to some purple alien, keeps him moving. But to everybody who's seen Rebels, they're like, yo, is that fucking Zeb?
That's a big deal, yeah.
Yeah, and then when you find out, yes, indeed, it was Zeb, it leads to everything that we've known. And then the, trailer just dropped, and it's our first time getting to see Sabine. Ahsoka trailer dropped. It's our first time getting to see Sabine Wren in live action. She looked incredible. So Zeb's there. Hera's there in the trailer. Hera looked incredible. So now we've seen everyone, and I think there was even an image of Ezra in the trailer. We still haven't seen his live action. But him and Thrawn are coming, so we're going to see all the major characters from Rebels now in live action. And so that was really dope. I really liked that episode in general. And my only question was, did they murder the Swamp Thing pirate?
Oh, yeah, that nigga's dead.
Oh, damn.
That nigga got murdered.
Yeah, right? His ship got blown up, didn't it?
The ship is done. Everybody done.
Crashed down, right?
Or everybody except Starscream died. Starscream, that first in command nigga that was starting the problems in the first fucking place. Yep. You remember when he first came down and he was talking all that shit to Grief? That's the only, as far as I've seen, he actually got away.
Yes.
And I was like, why y'all niggas not going after him? But whatever.
I think you also enjoyed that episode because for me too, it had a very Star Trek feel to it. And it's even the pirate dying at the end was like my favorite moments in Star Trek, where it's the dude standing on the bridge of their ship. And they have that look on their face. When you say it
like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And like the old fuck look.
Yeah, we used to call it the moment of conscience, where it's like, your whole life just flashing by before your eyes. And you're like, damn it, I should have listened to mom and drawn the Starfleet. Here I am. Should
have stayed in Davy Jones' locker.
Yeah, here I am. Yeah, blown up on some random planet.
I mean, is he not the fucking guy from Disney from Pirates of the Caribbean just made out of leaves? It's the same
he's
nigga.
Swamp Thing. He should have stayed in the swamp.
Okay.
It should have stayed in the swamp. The nexus of all realities. Look, hey, deep cut Swamp Thing right there, baby. Okay. Moving on to episode 6, Guns for... Oh my God, this episode.
This episode was... Now,
I don't
understand the hate this episode received.
I do. And
I mean... When I say I don't understand, I just don't think it should have had some hate. I get
I do.
Reasons why, but
why?
And
all right, people,
why you
and
think
then
it should have been hated?
Okay, one, I've seen people saying like, yo, y'all just hating on this episode. Shout out to Danny Lore, in fact, friend of the show, writer extraordinaire, who was saying that people are hating on Jack Black and Lizzo because they're fat, and it's the fat phobia.
Wow. That might actually, I could see that for sure.
That probably contributed to it.
A lot of the vitriol I saw was centered around Lizzo and Jack Black being in it.
And I don't understand.
And that's what I mean when I say I don't understand the hate. I'm not talking about the concepts that you're about to get into. I'm talking about that stuff. Like, the surface stuff. I'm just like, what do you mean? Mando Ben had random cameos from comedians of all walks. Number one, comedians. But number two, they've always had these random fucking... And this actually surprised me. And it was a good surprise. I fucked with Jack Black. Lizzo's cool. I was like, all right, fine, whatever. Like, okay.
I fucked with Jack Black heavy.
I love Jack Black.
School of Rock is one of my all-time favorite films. Like, don't tell me nothing about that movie. It's fucking incredible.
And honestly, he's incredible in both Jumanjis.
I mean, he's incredible.
Jack Black people don't think Jumanji and Jack Black is like epitome of his acting, but it's like one of his best acting roles. The way he fucking did that shit, amazing.
And I know you've seen the Super Mario, and I know he kills it as Bowser. So I haven't even seen that shit, but I know he kills it, and I know that the niggas. I mean, Jack Black's one of the best, and Lizzo. Look,
it's just a pop star doing an acting role. Like,
I get sick of her goddamn songs. All right, but that's all I'll say. When you hear them every day as a wedding DJ, it makes you insane.
I get it. But I mean, they gave me what I thought they were gonna get.
Yeah, so I thought she was cool. Yeah, so that wasn't my problem. Now let's get into my problems for this. I mean, this episode was out of control, right?
These were the actual problems. Yeah.
Oh my God, this is one of them episodes where I'm like, yo, how did this get out of the writer's room? Or y'all just don't give a fuck. Because y'all know Disney's omnipresence and whatever can just let you stay through. And it did, because this episode was ridiculous. Our Mando just endorses racism, straight up. Like, my man runs into the Udnots and is like, y'all are the hardest working race in the universe. Now, anyone out there, y'all just take that and put it like, let's say he walked into a room full of black people, room full of, whatever. Whoever you want to put in that situation. And was like, y'all the hardest working on the planet. In our case.
Yeah. Well, in story anyway, the Ugnaughts respect that shit because they want to be known as that. You saw that they nodded like, yeah, nigga, and what? Like, that was their shit. They were happy he said it. Like, to them, that was like high praise.
Okay. So, I mean, that's fine. All right, we're going to state, racism is high praise in this universe. Cool. So, moving on, we have the droids, right? And I've always loved the Ugnaughts.
Wait, you forgot one part about the Ugnaughts.
Yes. I've always loved the Ugnaughts. The Ugnaughts are the cats who shoved Han Solo into the carbonite and cooked his ass in carbonite. So the Ugnaughts have a history in Star Wars. And then when the Ugnaught dude showed up in the early season and, said his I have spoken, I was like, oh, it's cool.
That's cool.
But now they made it like content. What's the word? Like, verbal, like, context, like it's part of their language. It's
I know what you're trying to say, but like that whole I have spoken is the context of how they speak to each other in
how like they construct a sentence.
That's how they like that's how their sentence construction, right?
Yes. It involves, but to me that just feels goofy. It felt like this is the way where now everyone has to have their little cute slang. The Ugnaughts now are I have spoken instead of just being one dude. Because I thought it was kind of
well, the little niggas, the little tiny niggas that build shit, they got their own patois language and shit. Like, I fuck with it. What's wrong with that?
I mean, okay, that's fine, but that also goes into the racism of it all. Like, my man walks into a room of niggas filled with niggas from across the galaxy, and it's like, yo, I know one of y'all niggas, and they're all like, oh, true, that's my nigga.
Maybe
how?
The nigga is famous.
All y'all niggas know each other. Moving on, the droids.
Droids like being slaves, apparently.
The droids tell this man, we are just so thankful for life. That's like me saying.
They said we are thankful to serve.
Yeah, no, because of life.
Because of life.
And because we are immortal and we will live forever, and y'all niggas is fragile ass niggas who die every day, We don't mind serving y'all while y'all here, because eventually you're going to die and leave the world to us.
Now, is this it's
kind of dark.
Now, this goes back to what I said about consistency. Have droids always felt this way in the Star Wars universe? Has it even been really said at any point? Does Isaac Asimov's 3 laws of robotics come into play at any point? Like, I don't understand.
That's the thing. After this aired, I saw all kind of arguments. Like, people were saying droids are not sentient in the Star Wars universe now. I always assumed they were.
I thought they were. I understand they got memory chips and shit like that, but it's so far advanced or old, depending on what section of the Star Wars universe you're in. Because maybe that's my childlike mind, just thinking about people like R2D2 and C3PO. They seem really alive to me.
Well, that's the thing.
And made decisions without intervention.
Is their programming so advanced that it can simulate being alive? Like,
and they simulate being scared, and I don't want to do this, and I'm not trying to go there.
But at what point are they any different than us? Because we are all filled with programming as well.
And then simulate, like disobeying their
so what's the difference?
And that's actually one of the quintessential questions of like AI and robotics that comes up for like a century or whatever. Like, once you're able to replicate that level of at least implied sentience, are you in fact alive?
Yes, and what's the difference?
Right?
Yeah, because implied might as well be arson. Just because who can judge?
Right, but at that point, most people say, well, the difference is humans have souls and robots don't, and then people go, well, what's a soul? And then you go down a bigger rabbit hole.
Yeah. That being said, the fact that these niggas is out here talking about they like being slaves is kind of wild,
They said that, like they said that shit verbatim. We like it here. Yeah. We love it here. Please continue to kick us and let us do your bidding.
I mean, the fact that Mando kicks the shit out of that thing like 4 times.
He was testing to find out which one was the rogue bot, okay? That's literally, you didn't know, like, that's literally what he was doing. He even said that.
So a cop rolls up on a group of black dudes and slaps 4 of them.
They do that.
Yep. And then one of them runs away and they kill him.
They do that in real life. So, I mean, I don't see no difference.
But that's what I'm saying. Mando's the hero of this story.
Ben, like you said, this was a strange episode. And not strange because of Lizzo and Jack Black. That was the most sane part of the episode. It was the other shit.
Everything else about it, like, this man is a wild racist cop in this episode, and no one, has a problem with it.
What you got to say about the other cameo in this?
Christopher Lloyd, who I love, to death. Everyone knows him from Back to the Future. He's done multiple roles, voice, acting, everything. Just a legend. I mean, it was cool. Like, the whole story was so out of control. My man was straight up was like, yo, these niggas cannot exist without their slaves.
Like, Ben, he turned it to
And then they said, fuck it, let the slave owners keep living like this.
He turned it to Dr. Robotnik. Like, just midway. I was just like, what's going on? What? Because I hate y'all niggas and I hate y'all way y'all running shit. I was like, what?
Yeah.
It was very... This episode was strange, especially when they came up with this convoluted stuff about the midichlorians or whatever the fuck in the robots' juice that they was drinking. Like, there was nanobots in the oil liquor that they was drinking, and that was turning them crazy and this and that. And I was just like, it just seemed like y'all was just throwing any motherfucking thing in there and just making a story out of it. And I guess that's how it goes, but goddamn.
I'm just so mad that they made Mando a racist cop. Like, that's where, it's like, wow. And then in the last bit of bullshit for someone like me who is a big fan of Rebels and everything, in the same episode, they finally remember that Mando has the Darksaber and he just...
And the nigga cannot use it to save his fucking life, literally and figuratively.
And he just hands it over to Bo-Katan. And it's something that came up on the internet, right? That pirate, whatever thing, scavenger thing, did take it from him. And she took it back. So it is hers.
It is hers.
But it's like, if that's the case, niggas could just tell a story wherever they go. Be like, yo, fam, da-da-da-da-da happened.
Well, you're going to need a backup to back up. My thing is people trust Mando. And to at least to a degree, trust Bo-Katan, so they're gonna trust their word. I mean, they fucking, this is the same people. And granted, this faction that deserted Bo, they ain't know that she went all the way to Mandalore and did the water cleansing and all the other shit. They didn't know she did,
and they don't care about that either.
And they don't care, but they don't. But my thing is, a lot of the people don't know that she did this shit, and then now you have proof. So my thing is, once you show that shit, they're like, okay, you probably ain't gonna lie about some other shit. Like that was one of they thought the motherfucking shit was cursed. They came back with the water of Lake Minnetonka, and everything was cool, right? It's like, oh, y'all niggas really was down there. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, once someone says some outrageous shit like that, and they have proof, you're like, okay, so anything else you say is probably the truth. Like, why you gotta lie?
I also love
you got nothing to lie for. So
that the future of the Mandalorian race was decided in a fist fight. Like their culture, like these niggas call these niggas primitive, but they are willing to fight it out to determine who leads them.
And that's the next episode, but on a game of fucking checkers. Like, I don't.
Oh no, I'm talking not even that part. I'm talking about when Bo-Katan and Mans had to scrawl it out.
Oh yeah. Well,
I mean, and that goes back to
niggas was disrespectful. They shouldn't have been talking to Bo crazy like that. They was coming out their mouth sideways. They needed to get take these hands. Like, stop playing.
Because that goes back to Rebels and Clone Wars. Like, the Mandos have always fought for leadership, and they've always been hands thrown. Like, I was very upset to see the throne room get blown up in the earlier thing, because that throne room was a legendary place for people catching L's. And
I mean, aren't like Mandos the Klingons of Star Wars universe? Like, just because they're just a warring culture and they're about, again, as you say, honor and fighting for status and privilege and this and leadership. Like, to me, that's all I kept seeing, and I'm familiar with that. So I'm like, all right, well,
yep, they about that life. And in the final episode, the penultimate episode, as it is, episode 7, The Spies. Once again, these niggas is idiots. All right, like they is on the ice planet. They run into the struggle Mandos who are down.
They're on Mandalore. They're on Mandalore. Okay,
down bad. Like they are down bad. The first line out their mouth is, "Do y'all have food?"
Didn't that not feel like Mad Max Fury Road, but on a boat? Like
on ice.
That felt. Is there ice? Whatever the fuck that is. It just felt very strange. But
glass. The planet's been turned to glass because of the bombing.
Heat and all that. Yeah.
From the bombing. Yeah. From the bombing. Yeah. So these niggas struggling. Bombs over Baghdad. These niggas struggling, and they get in the ship. They rolling in the ship. There is a giant monster coming up out the ground. These niggas talked about how there have been more monsters and stuff since the bombing. They don't slow down.
Well, they don't slow down. They don't turn course. They don't. I just was like, y'all niggas is on the Titanic and see the iceberg. It's not like y'all didn't see. Y'all seen it. And granted, they was moving kind of fast.
But they slowed down.
But your ass earlier. Seen it. When you saw it and said there's something rumbling in the distance, y'all saw the fucking Titan coming up out the wall in the distance, okay? You saw it. You seen it. Why didn't you start turning and just course correct? Just even a little bit, like air of caution. Just an air of caution. The man said, oh, there's something rumbling in the back. It's another legendary Pokemon. Why are you still driving towards it?
That's because
it's another one, and that's what I said.
Number
I got
one
mad
weakness.
all over again. Here we go again. They fucking got ate by an Onyx. Like, it don't fucking stop. It don't stop.
The funniest and wildest shit about this is, like, as I've gotten older, I don't know what it is, but I've developed like an irrational fear of like kaiju size, like Lovecraftian size monsters. I just think that one is going to happen in my lifetime or something. I don't know. And so,
bro.
Yeah, I mean, we've lived through enough other wild shit, so why not?
I wouldn't doubt it. Pacific Rim all day. That's the thing that scares Mando the most.
I mean, it should, because these niggas get served by these niggas all day. Like, it's like, bullets are my number one weakness. For him, it's just motherfucking, kaiju. But they don't slow down, and they slow down quick and easy earlier. They don't slow down for shit. They get ran through. More of these niggas die in flames. That shit was horrible watching. They all flying off the ship. Screaming.
Like, y'all niggas
ship blows up in half.
Oh my God. I was just so mad then. And for all the reasons you just stated, I was just legitimately mad because I'm like, we back in episode fucking 3. Yep. Like, I was like, what is going on?
L's for y'all niggas.
Y'all knew this. And that's what I'm saying. It's once again, y'all knew this. You said it, Ben. Y'all foreshadowed it earlier in the fucking same episode.
Y'all talked about the monsters that came up out the ground. Monsters, lady. And they just got smashed up. Then these niggas decide to run into another obvious trap when your man Moff Gideon, yeah, sets the obvious trap, and these battle trained veterans run up into this shit. Oh yeah, it is Golf, right?
No, it's Moff. I was just laughing that Golf Midian is a funny name. But
I mean, so is Moff Gideon.
It's Moff. Moff.
Yeah, Moff Gideon flies down in his backpack, his Mando armor. I mean, this shit was silly, dog. Your man Paz Vizsla does the I'll hold them off. Like, for what, nigga? You know you gonna die. Like,
for what? Listen, this is the same nigga who would not save his own child because he
dog, and you know your other man's who was beefing with him is about to be raising his kid in the next episode.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
100%. I called that one, y'all. I
was just mad because they lost their tank, and how are they supposed to win the next?
He was a terrible tank, dog. That nigga
it don't matter. Terrible. He was the tank, okay?
Well, that nigga straight up Leroy
Jenkins. No, they're not. They are not going to win the next Overwatch match.
No,
you needed that fucking tank. Is they only guy.
Diva down, baby. It's all bad.
So yeah, that was annoying. And also, but you know what? One thing that was at least cool, but this is just stuff that I've already known, is just like how like the Empire is built itself, right? Like it steals from other cultures. It does a lot of Borg type shit, right? Where it just assimilates all that stuff into their own shit. Like the way stormtroopers look is stolen culture, right? Obviously, in this episode, you see the Beskar armor stolen from the Mandos. The fact that I was like, why is niggas got jetpacks now? Stolen. Moff talking about, oh yeah, he fucking Darth Vader and a Mando and a fucking Imperial Guard put together. Okay, like I get it. You know, like that continuation of that I thought was interesting. And like if you really sat there and see how these, and then if you look at all the other movies and properties too, you just see how the Empire is pieced together. Like that shit's wild.
Yeah, but that's also goes back to that explanation stuff, because at one point stormtroopers were just stormtroopers. But then we learned that the stormtroopers replaced the clone troopers, who were all derived from Mandalorian culture in the first place, because they're all trained from not Boba Fett, but not Jabba Fett. What's his dad's name? Can't remember his damn dad's name. But yeah, since they're all from him, that's where all the culture comes from in the first place. That's where the armor comes from. Jango Fett. And so it's all derived from Jango, and it goes down the line to where we have stormtroopers now. But also, there was a nice little callback to he had the horns on his helmet, which is reminiscent of Darth Maul. And Darth Maul, at one point, he took over Mandalore, and he had the helmet with the horns on it. So that was a nice little callback to that.
Yeah, so there was some cute callbacks and shit like that.
But once again, these niggas is idiots and walked right into an obvious trap. And it's just like,
once they say, what is this place? I said, that's probably your cue to turn around.
Yeah, and also the fact that, Mando somehow survives, like, he gets put in what do they need him for? Like,
but once again, the power levels don't make sense. I understand he was and maybe it's different this time. He was overwhelmed by troopers that had Beskar armor on. Okay, the niggas still can't aim. You were still serving them with the fucking flamethrower of life. Like, I don't understand.
They wrapped him up, and that was that.
Like, literally, you know what they did? You know how they got Mando? They put two hooks in him and walked opposite each other, and he was done. That's what it takes to bring down the nigga.
Look, it worked on AT-ATs, it'll work on Mando. Like, they'd seen Empire Strikes Back already, and so they were like, oh yeah, that trick worked in Star Wars.
And
that then your man sacrifices himself for no reason, just because, I guess. And once again, because
honor, man. Honor.
But once again, because he can't emote through this match, his death did nothing for me, y'all. I'm sorry. And it was also hilarious to me because the Imperial Guard came through like they just got off a coffee break. They were like, shit. Like,
but that's on purpose, right? They're trying to tell you, hey, this is light work. This ain't shit for them. Like, this is stupid for them. They're just like, trying to take out the trash. I got it.
Yeah, I get it.
But my thing is, you also feel like that because you didn't care about Paz in the first place. That's the tank, Paz Vizsla. You didn't care about him in the first place. You thought he was clowning in the first place.
I got his toy on my shelf over here. I bought him.
Because he looks cool. You don't like him personally, at least in the show.
Once he was struggling to save his son, I gave up on Paz. Like, I was like, oh, you come on, fam.
I don't know.
Somebody else needs to raise that kid.
I was just more mad that they lost a party member, and I don't know how they're going to replace him. Replace him with what?
What's his name? Tanking up. The dude
who's tanking up? Wolves? Axe Wolves?
Yeah, Axe Wolves is tanking up.
He gonna get a Gatling gun? If I don't see no Gatling gun, you ain't a tank, my guy.
Look, it didn't do much for that one either, so.
Well, that shit overheated, and it was just one nigga
Failure.
who ain't got no strategy. Okay, that's another thing. Paz ain't got no strategy, not a strategic bone in his body.
Why should I care about this man? That's what I'm saying.
My point. You don't. My point. You
Leroy
never really
Jenkins
cared.
over here.
You never really cared, so that just serves deeper into why his death didn't matter to you.
At least Leroy was comedy.
I will say though, I like Gus Fring, the legend Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, I mean,
I like him as Moff. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, he does what needs to be done when it's his turn to be the villain and the person that's just like, stay the course. This is what the fuck we're doing. And he's very smart and calculating. You see how he's basically putting his niggas under the bus. The shadow council, if you will, the two niggas that was trying to play him, and he threw them under the bus real quick. I'm saying he's very, very very strategic. Like the way he was able to like flipping on him in like 30 seconds, I was like, okay.
I hope he survives to see Thrawn. That would be great.
Right. I mean, he survived being taken to jail allegedly. They bust the nigga out, so he survived all of that.
I would like to see Giancarlo, even though it's like also stretching this thing out more than I think it needs to be. I would like to see Giancarlo go up against Thrawn. That would be some dope, Yeah. Because Thrawn is dope.
Yeah. I mean, we've complained about a lot of things, but besides the stuff that I like, like Moff, like I also want to mention like Grogu getting a mech was the funniest fucking fun thing to me. When they came up with IG-11, or I thought IG-11 walked out, I said, not again. I said, they really pushing, bringing back this fucking droid. And then to see the little Iggy Azalea alien in there, piloting it, I was like, as soon as he walked in with the joysticks, I said, it's a fucking mech. And he put little Grogu in there. I said, I'm buying the goddamn plushie with the IG-12 add-on. That's on my fucking shelf.
And you already know that is what that was.
He said, no. All the no's and the yeses, like that shit made sense to me. Like that was the one thing that shit was fun. And I thought, like you're putting a child inside of a thing that can kill anybody, right?
Yeah.
And I'm always besides myself of the level of autonomy that kids like Grogu get in this universe of Star Wars. Like, I have no idea how old Grogu is, but he can't even fucking speak.
50.
Okay. Right, he's 50, but he's a kid, quote unquote, right? And he constantly has these access to powerful weaponry. You saw the kid Mando's powerful weaponry, but they're children. So their cognitive functions are not developed fully, right? So it's a kid in a killing machine. Hilarious. So, and basically all his whims that Grogu always has, like Grogu, he's so small, he has trouble walking and keeping up. He's in a full-blown machine where he could walk and do whatever the fuck he want. He was giving fucking Mando the stiff arm, like, nah, bro, I want this fruit right here. Like that shit was great. That was great.
I mean, he broke up the fight, from the mouth of babes.
He said, "Stop fighting."
No. I wonder about the logistics of it. I feel like the eggshell.
It's not gonna work though.
Was a little bit better for him.
Logistically, it makes sense. I thought it was faster too.
Yeah, the eggshell was faster, provided more cover, but we gotta sell these stories.
But it's also more of like a cradle, and what they're trying to also do is show Grogu growing up.
Growth, yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that's what we call growth and toy sales, growth and merchandise sales.
Yeah. But as we said, there's only one episode left. Where are we going with this story now? Where's the story ending?
What's the name is going to be a father to that little orphan child. That's the first thing. Bo-Katan is going to wait for next season to do anything of importance. Okay.
Still holding the Darksaber.
I don't know what's going to go on in this final episode, honestly. Because right now, Mando's captured, right?
Why? Another question, just back to this. Why didn't they use the Darksaber earlier to get the fuck out?
Why didn't they cut through them niggas when they showed up with the Darksaber?
Anyways, question that needs answers, but
Fetch costs a lot of money, I guess. I don't know.
The Darksaber effects aren't that good, sorry.
I love them. I love it. Just it looks like how it looked in the cartoon.
When it's out, sure, but when it's I don't know. I just don't like it when they're sheathing it. Like it's just unsheathing it.
I like it. It looks like it looks how it looks like in the cartoon. So
that's why. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of weird looking because it's dark. It's a black blade. That's why it is interesting. Yeah, I honestly have no idea what's going to happen in the last episode because right now Mando is alive but captured. Why? Like, why does he need him?
Captured for the 30th time, mind you.
Yeah, like why does he?
And it's going to have to get saved by Bo-Katan for
again
30th time.
Yeah. I wish this season 4 was, like we said, Bo-Katan show, but it's not going to happen. So, in this final episode, I fully expect Moff to survive. I fully expect Bo to rescue Mando somehow and him not to die.
Yeah. Lizzo and Jack Black gonna help them?
No.
No.
No, I don't think we'll see them again.
Because they're 15.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who's gonna cameo? Who's gonna random cameo at the end?
Maybe Thrawn, because the actor playing him has been determined, and we know he's going to be in Ahsoka, so maybe we see Thrawn in this finally. I would like that. That'd be cool.
Okay.
I don't think Ahsoka comes up in this.
No, I don't think so
no.
Either. We already seen her in the season that was supposed to not matter, but
yeah. So
that's another thing. Y'all had fucking Ahsoka and then retconned all that, like whatever.
I mean, they didn't retcon it. They just kind of said, "Well, that
retcon because it mattered," and now you're telling me it didn't.
It didn't matter because he didn't die. Grogu could have died at the temple with the rest of them Jedis, and now he didn't. So it mattered, and he learned a little shit while he was there. I guess. And
now he has an IG-12 mech.
Yeah, so now he's a Jedi Mandalorian, whatever, who's still untrained, and they just let his ass out into the
That's
world.
what I'm talking about, but okay.
But, fuck it. He's a cute kid, and he sells toys. So,
even Mando be like, I ain't teach that nigga that. I don't know. He's just very cavalier about his upbringing. He's like...
his force powers,
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened in this last episode. We'll be back to talk about it when it does. And I can't really make no predictions. This shit is so who knows at this point? It could be an episode all about Dr. Pershing. I don't know anymore.
Right. You're right. I wonder if there's going to be if Rick, because Rick Famuyiwa, who is an executive producer and directed most of the episodes of The Mandalorian in general, he came back for episode 7. So I wonder if there's going to be a special director. Maybe Bryce Dallas Howard comes back again. Because she already did an episode this season. I don't know. Maybe we get another Peter Ramsey item, or maybe that was a one-off. But I do hope to see, at least, if not the finale, the future season, that we see more of these guest directors.
Well, Peter is definitely involved in Ahsoka, so he is wrapped up in Star Wars right now. So
good.
Yeah, we got to have him back soon to talk about all this.
You done good, Peter. You done good.
You done great, brother. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited for Ahsoka. I'm kind of as much as I love her, I feel like they're kind of beating, her to the ground. So I'm really hoping that's good.
Oh, Rosario Dawson and just having her
just
around
having
all the time.
character around all the time. Yeah, I'm,
because she's a special character, so it's just you don't want to overuse her.
But. Yeah, and I feel like she was so perfect in Rebels and Clone Wars, and after that, I really didn't need too much more. But we'll see how it turns out. I'm more excited for the Alkalite, which comes next year. That shit seems to be very interesting. And, they're on a pretty good run. But, we'll see how this wraps up. And we'll be back to talk about it. Yeah.
Would you say that this season of The Mandalorian was worth watching or required watching in order to follow the Star Wars universe?
No. Worth, yes. If you take it as I took it. A lot of comedy.
It is a lot of comedy.
It was like how I take the John Wick films now. If I don't take them seriously at all, they're pretty entertaining. If I take them like Looney Tunes, they're pretty entertaining. Not if I take them seriously. No, I can't. No, I can't believe people do that. Shit's fucking comedy. Man. Same with this. If you just take it as if you accept the Mandalorian culture is full of foolishness, and there's maybe there's a deeper story that they want to tell, but they're just hinting at it, that all these people in this cult are idiots, then that's the story that I'm with, and that's my headcanon, so that's where it works for me.
Well, hopefully, listen, they're trying to bring all these tribes together, and I don't know if, maybe they'll all adopt a modernized Mandalorian culture where you
Or
can
like
pick
the
off
one
your
that we saw in the cartoons for, like 10 years.
where they didn't do none of that shit. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Look,
You're right.
Pedro Pascal changed everything, folks. That's why I've got this is the way. You see that skateboard on the ball back there? Like, that merch sells too,
That merch does sell.
Catchphrases sell, baby. I can't believe they ain't got, I have spoken out there.
I have an I have spoken, but it's a local brand, but they have an I have spoken shirt. So
there you go. All right.
Yes.
That's been it for our review of most of this season of Mandalorian. We will be back very soon to do the final episode and talk about everything. Maybe we probably just did an all-star crew together for that one and get a lot of people in here to talk about, the whole season and the final episode. And as always, thank you for joining us. Make sure you're following us on all those various platforms. Make sure you hit subscribe on YouTube, on Spotify, everywhere, on Twitch, where you can see us on plus YouTube. You can go over to Facebook. It don't matter. Twitter, Instagram, all those different places. Hit up For All Nerds. Hit the follow. Hit the subscribe. Hit the like. Leave a comment. Do all those various things. Make sure you're following me at DJ Benhameen on all the various social media, as well as Tatiana King on all them joints. What else do you need? You need to get our merch. You can get our merch at forallnerds.com, where you can get this ill-ass shirt that I'm wearing right here. Oh, we about to have this joint in some new colorways for the spring, summer. We got some new colorways dropping with our newest, freshest design that will be out in time for the Mandalorian finale, and it is related to the Mandalorian.
Sure is.
And it's absolutely
perfect.
Incredible. It's
Stunning.
also one of Tatiana King's AKAs. That's the last hint I'll give you about this, and it's done by Stitch Sawyer, the legend who did her shirt that she's wearing right there.
Yeah, Mohawk Storm on a motorbike.
Mohawk woman on a motorbike.
Mohawk woman.
We're avoiding any
TM.
copyright.
Yeah.
On that one at least, because that's still on our TeePublic, where you can still pick up some of our older designs. But for all the new, hot, exclusive, and I mean, you're supporting a black business, you're putting money directly in our pocket, forallnerds.com. Thank you for all the love over there. The Lionel Richie shirt has been moving like hotcakes. We got the note design that's been moving. We got this new design that is just going to be stupid out the bricks, out the box.
I cannot wait to wear that.
My God. I'm
going to wear that to the next music festival I go to. I'm wearing that shit.
I'm wearing
all this shit
everywhere. Like, that's all. I mean, if you see me in these streets now, all I'm usually rocking is a For All Nerds design. So
we're probably going to be wearing it when you see us in LA.
Yes.
In a few weeks, we are going to be there at UCLA for Geek Week. We're going to be on a panel.
May 2nd.
May 2nd. We're going to be on a panel with Dr. Drea Letamendi. What up, Dr. Drea? We love you. We appreciate you. But yeah, we're going to be out there in LA. So come through. If you can, I don't know the ticket situation, but come through if you can.
We'll let you know more soon.
We'll let you know more. And also like if you just happen to stay out in LA, you might see us around the way. So
hit us up. We'll definitely be DJing, some other things going on that week while I'm out there.
Yeah.
Be out there the whole week. So holla at us if you're around, if you got something popping that you want us to come through,
Yep. We'll be there the week. Make sure you also October 19th. That is going to be during Howard Homecoming weekend. This again, it's prestigious. We are going to be at the National Museum of African American History and Culture in Washington, D.C. in the Oprah Winfrey Theater as part of the Afrofuturism exhibits that has been ongoing since March. We are also going to be speaking there. Amazing.
Not
stupendous.
Speaking. We're going to be headlining a panel there in the Oprah Winfrey room.
There it is.
There it is.
So we there.
Black Smithsonian, October 19th. Ooh, I got these black on black Howard joints coming. I might have to rock one of them at that. You know
nice.
what I mean? All black.
Yeah.
I have to come in there and,
yeah.
all black attire.
So, of course, like I said, that's like right before Howard Homecoming weekend. So,
it's during Howard Homecoming week.
It's during the week, right? So, so the point is we're going to be out there.
We're going to be there.
If you are having an event, If you something going on, let us know.
Holla.
Let us know.
We doing it big.
And make sure you're going to our Patreon, patreon.com/forallnerds. That is where you can help assist in our quest to continue being legendary. All tiers are a great tier because every time you are a part of the Patreon, you get special privileges like first access to screening tickets, which is coming up soon. So I'm just giving you guys this warning now.
I mean, we actually have one going on right now.
That's right. Yeah, okay.
We have Evil Dead right now.
Right now.
For Evil Dead next week in New York. That if you were part of Patreon, you got first dibs on that hoe. So
look at
hopefully
that.
You're supporting.
Look at God.
Along with a lot of other stuff, we're going to give you all some discount codes for this new merch coming.
Yeah.
New shirt. You probably be the first on that. Might have to do an exclusive colorway just for y'all over there.
Yeah.
Different things like that.
We're going to continue to do more giveaways. Like, anything we can pull for free for you, we are going to do. Okay. So thank you everyone who is already part of the Patreon, and thank you to everyone
the
fan fam specifically. And, thank you to everyone who's contemplating it. It's a good idea. $2 a day is like the lowest one. So
that's all you need.
So appreciate it. Yeah.
All right.
Is that everything?
Think that's about it. Ooh. Yeah, it's a lot going on over here. Still some other big announcements coming very soon. Much more to come from us, as we get into spring, summer. We got our 10th anniversary coming up, so we're going to have to do a big live show, maybe a live tour, even, visit a few more places. But like we say, we're out in LA, we're out in DC this year already. 2 different places you can catch the For All Nerds fam. So, holler at us, and we'll be back.
We're going to be at the Schaumburg this weekend.
Oh, shit. What am I talking about? Yes.
For the comic book festival, right?
Yes.
I am going to be hosting the comic book trivia panel featuring Joe Illich, the Blur Girl, and Regine Sawyer, and a bunch of other cool people. That's going to be this Friday evening. I will be there. Benhameen, what are you going to be doing?
I'll be there Friday at 3 p.m. for the panel about creatives and maintaining creative energy and just how to be a creative in this crazy business and world we live in. Yeah. So that will be featuring Regine Sawyer, Janicia, and some other legendary people. So come through to Schaumburg this weekend. It's going to be crazy. I'm going to be there all day Friday till about like 6, 7 o'clock. Then I got to get out of there and do some other shit. Okay. But I'll be there all day Friday. So come through if you're in the area. If you're in Harlem, come through, see the For All Nerds team. Get some merch, some stickers, some all that. We'll be out there. Some love and some hugs, all that too.
Facts. Peace.
Fan Bros, we are For All Nerds.